there is a neurological system that allows. If you zoom in on the meridians much lower, it's water pathways, helping gross fascial anatomy and musculature, the muscles being tight. There's one other thing I really did want to mention in regards to the difference between the meridians and the neurological system. The meridians, as I've described them thus far, were described from a point of gross fascial anatomy and musculature, the muscles being tight. If you zoom in on the meridians much lower, it's water pathways held by fascia. And to explain this is a much longer lecture. But the basic idea is thinking the meridians as water pathways. What I'm putting forth here is extremely radical. That is that there is a parallel system of communication within the body to the neurological system. Yes, there is a neurological system that allows communication through the body and regulatory physiological function. There's a parallel system that evolutionarily predates the neurological system, and that's the water system. There's water pipes, 12 of them, that go through the body that are regulated by our thoughts and our feelings that affect our physiology and allows the communication within the body based on water pipes vibrating thought feelings as vibration currents. And this is what if somebody comes in freaked into a room and everybody feels it like tuning forks. This is a byproduct of this predated evolutionary communication system in the body that predates the neurological system. And just one more part on this is that there was, I believe, life formed in the ocean. And when the water got encapsulated by the first nitrogen-based wall, an amine-based wall, the water was already in the cell. And when two cells clicked together, there was water in the two cells and there was binding proteins between them. The water could vibrate between two cells and there could be communication between the two cells from the interstitial water of a diatom, a two-celled organism. That system of communication existed at that stage of our evolution, which is far predating the neurological system. Yeah. And that symmetry of communication between cells gated through the binding proteins mediated through the water has been retained in our evolutionary development all the way from diatoms on up to now. There's a parallel system of communication in the body based on water, and that's the meridians. And it predates the neurological system. All right, I've said enough. It's a lot more there. This is so wild. It's so amazing. It's like, oh my gosh, like if the world knew. If the world knew.
I have seen one example of it. Like this guy he said that he had a full severance of the spinal cord and yet was able to walk. It was like, and he somehow did it through like the strengthening muscles and wall sits. It was a funny program, but I was like, whoa, is the neural cords like realigning or is there a secondary system?
There you go. That's what I'm putting for.
Yeah, it was amazing, but yeah, there's a secondary system and old. Yeah, I mean, just those two cells. There's clearly no nerve tissue between.
That's what I'm saying. And that physiological function was retained through the increased development, evolutionary to multicellular organisms and multi-organ organisms. So the one we're looking at today, one of those paths, there's only 12 paths, and they make up the entirety of the human body. One of the 12 paths is on the sides of the body, and it's part of the helical path. And the Chinese call it the Xiaoyang, which means the intermediate backside of the body. Yang being the yang side of the body, Xiao meaning intermediate, so the middle backside of the body. They were describing the location. And the function of it is left-right movement of the body and carrying out of the plan around obstacles.
Perfect. Let's talk pathology. Common pathology.